Hello everybody, Iain Robson here. Welcome to another edition of Hard Working. Alright, we got something going on today. If you recall from the previous episode, we were working away at the stumps that were over here. As you can see, I have gotten them taken care of, as you can see. So they're all taken care of with our Xerion here and our chipper, another chipper, the stump grinder, wherever that got off to. I don't know where I put it. It's somewhere. Where is it? As long as I still own it, I'm okay. Yeah, it's somewhere. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this started. So as you can see, I have rented a... this is the Taurus. This is the 600 horsepower edition. Or no, this is the 500 horsepower edition. It looks a bit funny behind this plow, but it actually works. Which kind of surprised me a little bit, because I didn't think it was going to be powerful enough, to be honest with you. But it actually does work. Alright, so I believe we have that set up already. Perfect. So let's go ahead and get this rolling. Let's lower that down. Lowering it down. There we go. And it helps when you put it on to allow create field. There we go. Anyways, so yeah, I started doing this off camera, as you can see. I did a little bit of an outline already. And it goes all the way around there. It's quite a big area, actually. Once you see it all said and done, it is a little surprising how much area we actually added by doing this, which was quite surprising, like I said. So we're missing a little bit of a chunk there. Let's just back up and get that little bit of grass there. It's strange because that is the only location where apparently we missed some. Everywhere else, not a problem. Just that little one location. And I don't want the grass to be right there, because that would be a little annoying. Perfect. Let's take a turn and start the other pass here. Yeah, this particular tractor with this plow / cultivator, it doesn't look right. But it does work. Did I get that last little piece? Of course not. I have to be careful because, oh no, wow, it's the front half that plows it. Is it going to get that time? Yes, there we go. Sheesh. So, where was I? Yes. Yeah, so I picked up this guy right here. Oh, you're gonna do that area. I feel like I'm going to have to adjust this now. Let's make the working width 9.5 maybe. Just to make sure I get everything, because more than once now we've missed a little tiny piece, and I really don't want to do that. I'd rather have a little bit of overlap and not have grass all over the place. Anyways, this plow is the John Deere 2720, I believe it is. This is from American Eagle Modding, and I believe Joe Limberg was the one who worked on this particular one. And it's not a bad plow. Not the best. There are a couple problems with it still, but in terms of the size of it, it's one of the bigger plows. So it actually works really well for the soil mod, although in this map we don't have the soil mod, so it doesn't really make a huge difference. But it does work really well for what I'm doing right here, so which is good. Very good. So. And as you can see, I have it set up so I did all around there as well. So I have quite a big little area that I need to plow. And had I used a small plow, it would have been a bit more painful. It would have been a bit more painful because the plow you can use in game. Well, we have a plow, but it's 2 meters, and this just seemed like a much quicker option. So I opted for this as opposed to the in-game plow, and that's primarily because I didn't want to spend hours plowing, and this will do the job. So let's raise that up and take a little U-turn here. So that was the reason why I went for this in the end, was because it was just easier to get this done like this. We're gonna have to back up here in a second. And we're going to have to line it up a bit better than that. It's the one downfall. you do kind of have to be, well, I don't know. I guess depends on how good you are backing up with one of these. There we go, perfect. I don't know, I've run into problems more than once doing stuff like this, so it's a question of whether or not you make the mistake or not. But as you can see, it has added quite a. It's surprising how big the field has become now when you look at it, because there we go. What's that? It's surprising how big the field actually becomes once you open it up like this. It's I don't know why, but I just didn't realize how big it actually was. And then once I actually like finished, and I was like, whoa, that's pretty huge actually. So, all right, let's line up here, and let's take a quick little peek back. Not quite yet. All right, so let's make sure this is lined up nicely. It's funny, if you take your time, it's not that hard to line it up properly, but if you're like me and you don't always take as much time as you should, that should be alright. Is that going to get that little bit there? Oh, yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, if you're like me and you don't always take the time you should, you run into problems sometimes. But yeah, this plow's not terrible. I know a couple people didn't like it so much, which is fine. I know it's not for everybody, but in terms of like a larger plow, it's like the only option I think we have at this particular time. Although as far as I know, the documentation has been released. Landy Kid was talking to me the other day there, and he was saying that it has been released, which is fantastic. I really hope to see some OEB stuff out soon, because I know they were waiting patiently for the documentation so they could release some of the mods that they've been working on, which I'm looking forward to. I know one of them off the top of my head, and it'll be fantastic once it's ready to go. One sec, coffee break. So good. So good. It's funny, the last few Humble Bundles that have come out, I've been like, should I get that or not? Because it's such a great deal. Like, the number, you get like, 7 or 8 games for like $10 basically. It's hard to pass it up sometimes. So the last Humble Bundle I got was the Paradox Games Humble Bundle, which included Crusader Kings. So I might throw that in the channel at some point to see how you guys like it. Oops, wrong button. To see how you guys like that. I know it's not going to be for everybody, but it is like a simulator. It's a, I don't know, civilization simulator, I guess you would call it. So I know you guys like simulators. Ooh. Although Ship Simulator, I like the idea of the game. I just didn't like the game a lot. For me, I just for whatever reason I didn't enjoy the game, and that makes a big difference when you have to record on it. So I don't know, I like the idea of it, but I really didn't get into it very much, so oops, need to go back just a wee bit further. Yeah, that was one of the unfortunate things of that. So that was part of the Paradox Humble Bundle as well. So I like the concept of the game, but I didn't like some of the controls, and I don't know. For whatever reason, I don't understand it though. Like, Farming Simulator, totally into it. Ship Simulator, I was like, But it's the same kind of concept, but I think the reason why is because it's not very picturesque. Like, all you do is like look at the water basically, and I think that's the biggest difference for me. I was like, you just you're in a boat. That's all. But I have tried some of the other missions, and just I don't know, it just didn't really click with me. I could do it, and I might record a couple of other episodes in the future, but it'll be few and far between for that particular game, just because it wasn't up my alley. But I thought I'd give it a go. It was only like it was part of the Humble Bundle, but I got Crusader Kings, and I have played that game before, and it is a pretty cool game. I know, for example, Dirt Tiber's tried, I think it was Europa Universalis, I think, Universalis, something like that. Another Paradox game. It's very similar to Crusader Kings, just at a different time, and I think I might give Crusader Kings a try. It's a very different game for this, more like a... If you've ever heard of the series on television called Game of Thrones, or the books called Sword of Fire and Ice, I think it's called, is the actual name. If you've ever heard of those, so basically, Crusader Kings is basically that, except in a game form. which makes it if you've never heard of Game of Thrones, then it might be a bit strange, but there we go. It is a fantastic. The game itself was fantastic. I was reading a couple like random like reviews about, not reviews, but I was reading a couple things about it the other day, and it just makes you realize how in depth the game is. Like, you know, like your main character dies and you think that's the end of the game, but no. If you have like a son or a son to take over, then you continue the game, but people don't like you in the same way. You don't have the same relationships with people. It's crazy, like the amount of depth they've gone into with that game. So, and they're coming out with a new expansion soon, actually. What is it? Rise of the Horse Nation. So that would be, I think it's supposed to be the name escapes me right now. But there's a new expansion coming out soon, so that would be kind of interesting to check out, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I'll have to play a little bit of Crusader Kings first to see. But it's funny because it's all just based on just the decisions you make. So depending on the decisions you make, it'll actually dictate like what happens further on in the game. Now, I wish more games had that kind of like very in-depth like decision-making scenario where it has like a severe effect on the later game. But very few games have that sort of level of detail in terms of games and decisions and repercussions and whatnot. It's fantastic. So, yeah, I'll throw an episode up there and see how you guys like it, and then we'll go from there. There actually are a few other games in the Paradox game Humble Bundle that I want to check out too. There's one called, I guess I'll just finish this section off, might as well. There's one called Heart of Iron, which is kind of like, is a later well, it's like an early, what's one? The one that's coming out right now is Heart of Iron 4, and it's basically, it's a similar style of gameplay where you make decisions and it changes things, but it also has it's more related to World War II, I believe, and World War I. I have to double check that now, but it looks kind of cool. I was reading a review on the 4th game of it the other day on, I think it was on Kotaku, I think it was, or maybe Polygon, I can't remember. But anyways, as a little side note, if you want to read some video game related news or reviews, Kotaku or Polygon are both good places to check out. I actually started listening to the Polygon. It's called Polygon Minimap, which is the podcast about the game related news. So it's pretty good, actually. I like it. So if you haven't heard about it, check it out if you like podcasts. I definitely like my podcast, so it is definitely a podcast worth checking out if you like video game related news. It's pretty good for that. Pretty darn good, so I would recommend it, at least listening to one of them. It's every day too, so it's the news of the day, which is nice. So, for example, they were talking about the last one I listened to was it was an older episode, but they're talking about apparently The Witcher 3 has sold like over 4 million copies, which is crazy. I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy cow, that's nuts. It's one of those games I honestly like the idea. Just I have never played The Witcher. Don't know why. Just never played it. But it seems like a game I would like, but I probably wouldn't record just because it would be a long-winded game. One sec, coffee break. So, it's funny. What I realize is I could easily just pause this, because I'm using Morillus Action to record this particular episode, and I can easily just pause this and finish up. But for whatever reason, I end up talking a lot. And I've gotten so used to doing that without pausing and doing something else that I think it seems odd for me to pause it. But I think what I do is I will pause it and I'll finish up. It shouldn't take me too long, and I'll be back in a second. Alright, and we're just finishing up this last little pass here, and then we'll be done with the plowing, and then we're going to have to deal with the straw there. We don't actually have any animals yet. No, I didn't think so. Don't have any animals yet. I don't know if this map you need to buy. No. It's not the one where you have to buy the animals first and then they grow. You just put stuff in there and they grow. Okay. what that means is, do we have... I don't think we have a windrower. No. Didn't think so. So it's a 540 horsepower one. I thought it was a different price. Different horsepower, but it's not. Okay, perfect. So that's the last little bit of that. Excellent. Man, I love the GPS mod for this type of stuff. Let's raise it up. Fold it. Also, in other news, I don't know when this will go live. I don't know. But June... What is the date today? June 11th. June 11th, which is today, the pre-order for the Farm Sim steering wheel goes live. I have no idea how much it's going to cost, FYI. But it is going live today. So if you're hearing this later on, definitely check out the Farm Sim main website or the SciTech website, and they should have information there. They should have information there about the steering wheel itself. I have a G27 now, so I don't know if I'm going to buy the Farm Sim steering wheel, although I do use this for Farm Sim a lot more than I use it for Euro Truck. But the difference is this will work for Euro Truck as well, whereas the Farm Sim steering wheel is a little bit more limited in use, which makes me a bit sad. But I understand, because, like, you know, they basically ask people, would you be interested in this? And people are like, yes, yes, of course, of course. And so now we have it. But it does present a weird problem, because if you want to use your steering wheel for other games too, you're slightly... Oh, that's pretty cool. I just lowered it and it automatically unfolds. Huh, didn't think that was going to happen. That's pretty cool. That's a nice little design by whoever made this, or Joe Lindbergh, I guess. Or whoever else worked on it too. I just want to get this little tiny piece here. This is where it becomes a bit more difficult, and having the smaller one might be helpful. Perfect, that's it. Anyways, yeah, so that's the one problem I have with a Farm Sim specific steering wheel, because if you want to use it for other things, you are slightly limited. Due to, like, you could use the steering wheel aspect, not a problem, but, like, for example, with the G27 you have the gear shifter, and the gear shifter in Farm Sim is usable, not necessarily optimal, but it's usable. Whereas I don't know how it would work for other games, like, unless you bought a separate shifter, which you can do. It is possible to do that. Let's go ahead and return this. It is possible to buy like a separate, like an individual shifter and use that, but I don't know. Let's return this. Yes, thank you. And let's return this as well. Thank you. And I'm going to sell these because I don't want them. Because I like the OEB weight so much better. It just looks better. And I have, how many of these things do I have? Apparently I had 3. Okay, perfect. So we have this right here. We have straw. So we could windrow the straw, or we could just pick it up the way it is. Choices. Or we could just cultivate it under. These are the choices. Let's move this out of the way, actually, because we're going to need to do this one way or another. He was over here because apparently he had a little bit of leftover barley, I think, in him. Alright, so let's move this out of the way. Oh, that's where I put it. That's right. Let's put it over here. That seems like it's a good enough place as any. Perfect. And let's go to this guy and move him out of the way. That field is huge now. Look at that. That's awesome. I love it when a good plan comes together like that. Alright, so let's go ahead and unload this. So yeah, like I was saying, it's going to be interesting to see how compatible the wheel is with other games. Like, unless you exclusively play Farm Sim, like I pretty much do. But I like the prospect of being able to use the steering wheel for other games as well. So for example, if I wanted to use the steering wheel for, oh, I don't know, Euro Truck, the steering wheel works for that. Whereas the steering wheel function for the farm sim wheel? May not. I don't know. That's what I'm kind of curious about. I'm not a huge advocate for... I don't pre-order many things, let's just say that. And there's a reason, because I like having an informed decision, and often when we buy things pre-order, we don't always make an informed decision. Anyways, let's grab a... Oh, I didn't realize I got those. I'm still gonna get the OEB weight. Alright, let's reset that, or deliver. And we probably can just buy a rake now. Do I have any... Oh, well, that's not happening. I don't want to buy a small little rake like that. So, I haven't seen many in-game rakes, or rakes that are better than the in-game ones. So, you need 90 horsepower, and the tractor we have has 130, I think it is. But that might be overkill. Whatever. That's how I feel about that. I'm like, deliver please? Yes. And let's go deal with those. If this tractor cannot use it for whatever reason, we can always use our class Zerion. A little bit further. Perfect. Yeah, there's a few things. I see my wish list going up on random things now. Like, I would love to have the Farm Sim steering wheel, but I have a G27, so having 2 steering wheels is not very... Unless I sell this one and get another one, but I don't know. And then I was looking at Track IR as well. So many little random things. What we can use is we can use this for grass as well down the line, which would be nice. Alright, so let's open this up. I wonder if I just lower it, will it do the same thing? Oh, it will. Oh, didn't realize that. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's get this straightened out here a little bit. Alright, this is going to be good. There we go. That should be is a good spot for it. And let's do this and this, and let's take off the offset. Bam. Alright, let's get her done. So yeah, I'm very excited to see what they basically kept. It looks like they kept the prototype exact, and I would be curious to see, like, I don't know if they're going to do this, but I would love it if they did. If they would send like early access copies to people so they could do... I don't know why they wouldn't, because those are the people that love those. If you give something like that to somebody, you have early access to it, and then they review it, so to speak, for other people to help them make an informed decision, because I don't want to buy a $400 wheel and it's crap in the end, right? Like, no one does. So I don't know. Because it's SciTech, it's a little bit more reliable than Giants, because, you know, Giants takes their time in some things, not necessarily always in the best way. Like, let me give you a perfect example. For people who had Mac versions of this game, waited like an extra month or something. But, oh well. One sec, coffee break. Yum. So, I don't know. It'll be interesting, nonetheless. But... yeah, I just still surprises me how much that added to the field. That's just a crazy amount. Crazy amount. So what I think, I'm just curious. Let's just test something out real quick here. No, I don't want to drive the course. What I do want to see is, will it detect... Oh, it does. Oh, that's good. So it actually does add the extra little bit there now. Oh, that's cool. And this will be field 1 then? Sure. Let's raise it up here. That's kind of cool. I wasn't sure if that was actually going to work that way or not. I don't. I suspected it would, but you never know sometimes. All right, let's lower that down. There we go. And what I'm referring to is, will CourseBlade detect the size of the field change? And it does. Sometimes it's a bit finicky, but not this one. What I really should do is actually I should upgrade to the latest developer version. but that almost always screws up things, so I have to be careful about that. So, we will see. We will see. Oh man, this is going to take a lot longer than I thought it was going to. Is it because of the power of the tractor? Possibly. I think you can go faster than 10 kilometers an hour, though. Let's see. Yeah, I totally thought so. I was like, why are we going so slow here? There we go. That makes a lot more sense. I was like, this seems awfully slow. But for the reason, the cruise control was set on 10, so that's why we were going so slow. Now we can do it at double the speed. Love it. Alright, so what I'll do is I will finish up this field and then we'll come back and collect it. Be right back. Alright, so we finished up raking all of this straw up here. And what we're going to do is going to put this away because now we own this thing. And we can close that. Perfect. So we're going to put this away. I think what we'll do is we'll come back next episode and we'll collect some of that straw up there. And we will give it to our... I think we'll do... cows, I think. I think we'll go for the beef cows this time around. And we will... oh, actually, do we have beef cows in this map? I don't even look. I thought we did. But maybe we don't, actually. I think what's happening is I'm confusing this map with La Ferme Canadienne. I think that's what's happening. Because on that map, you definitely have pigs and you'll have cows as well. Or beef cows, so... yeah, I totally thought we had beef cows on this map, too. Perhaps we don't. I'll have to look around. Anyways, folks, that'll be it for me for today. My name's Iain Robson. This has been an episode of Farming Simulator 2015, coming at you from hard working. Catch you guys later.